Ozzie Albies of the Braves just slid headfirst into home plate. Safe! They almost challenged the call because it looked like, no joke, his dreadlocks were flopping around in the wind, and it looked as though the catcher may have nipped one of his
dreads.
One of his dreads, like nicked it just slightly.
And he does hit him in the foot. The back of his feet go up when he's sliding head first. So he gets his foot, but his hands get in on
He
home
just
plate
got him
first.
safe, but they almost got him by a dreadlock.
By a hair.
By a hair, literally. His hair flopped, and it was like, oh, it's so close. So, hey, I was wondering, in the NFL, is there an unspoken rule where you can't grab another man's hair? If you're a guy that's got the Derrick Henry flopping out the back or a lot of...
It's a personal rule I live by. I don't know if that counts.
You don't pull other man's hair?
You just don't touch mine. Don't touch the hair.
I thought what did you call them, dreadlocks? Is that what they're calling?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought those were part of the uniform. I thought that you were allowed to grab.
You could buy a hat with one of them with the dreadlocks attached. Almost, if you want. No, would it be considered part of the uniform?
I thought it was.
Or is it like a horse collar tackle? If you pull someone by the hair, is that sort of the same as...
In 2003, he was playing for the Dolphins at the time. Ricky Williams was pulled down by his dreads. Ooh. The NFL ruled that hair is a part of a player's uniform and therefore legal to grab in pursuit of a tackle.
Wow.
Is that a B move though, like to pull another man's hair?
It is.
It's a B move.
But it's legal. It's legal, and you could tag someone out by their hair. So
it's not that much of a B move. That was like my first flirty move when I was playing Duck Duck Goose with the ladies.
You grab their hair.
Yeah, little hair tug could be
Come and get me.
A lot of women love a little hair tug. I'm talking about a grown man on the football field.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm just saying. Hey, a shout out to Mayor of Kitty Hawk, because we were talking subjective calls. There was a play at the plate just now, but we're talking subjective calls in sports based on sticky hands.
Yeah,
Drew Smith.
Old sticky hand Smith. Drew Smith got ejected, 10-game suspension, and Ramos, can you just play Drew Smith? He said this about after his ejection.
Bill Miller looks at his hand.
My hands were sticky, and I had everybody check him as I was coming off the field. I don't know if that was caught on camera. The MLB guy in the tunnel, I kind of forced him to feel my hands as I walked in. I just grabbed him like this and pulled, and he actually laughed and said there was nothing there. So I don't really know what else to do.
The MLB guy saying, "Yeah, I don't know what to tell you," but the head umpire, the crew chief said, "No, sorry, you're out," and that comes with a 10-game suspension, as you saw with Max. You saw this with Scherzer and Domingo Germán. Guys, it's very hard to appeal because it's like, hey, they thought it was sticky at the time. What are you appealing? You really can't appeal something like that. So,
well, Mayor of Kitty Hawk, he also backed up pass interference as being one of the worst subjective calls.
Yeah, so we ask you, sticky hands, roughing the passer, pass interference, what are the subjective calls?
Is that Kitty Hawk where the Wright brothers flew?
I don't know who he is, but possibly.
I mean, there's very few Kitty Hawks.
Yeah, I was going to say there's so many around this country.
Yeah.
Kitty Hawk, I'm imagining, yes, Ramos.
Let's go to the phones, too, because I don't want to give any away, because I have a lot of baseball ones that come to mind.
All right.
877-99 on Fox. Subjective calls, or if you have any thoughts on, what baseball needs to do to fix this problem.
Ron Darling had the dumbest suggestion, and Ron Darling might be one of the smartest guys in baseball.
Ron Darling from Shallow Hal?
Ron Darling from Shallow Hal. Very handsome Hawaiian man. Ron Darling, who I think might be one of the smartest dudes in all of baseball, a great analyst. He's like, well, if you analyze the pitcher's spin rate and it's just substantially different, then you could say, well, the sticky stuff is working. But I'm like, so what are you going to do? You're going to have someone monitoring the spin rate of every pitch of every inning and then analyze it?
I talked about Garrett Cole starting today for the Yankees. You saw his spin rate significantly go down when they caught him with the spider tag. So it is significantly different.
Gary Cohn in the booth is like, Ron, I got to ask, like, what's significant? And he goes, no, a pitcher and people in the world of baseball know significant. It's not a little bit. Like, if a guy's spin rate drastically changes, like a Garrett Cole back in the day, then you could say, well, you probably, the spider tack is working. All right, Cincy and Cameron, what's up, man?
Hey, guys, love the show.
Thanks,
I had a few. Number one is, or 3-1 is, offsides in soccer. I've never understood it. That's like Randy Moss beating a corner and Tom Brady can't throw it to him because he gets behind him. So number 2 is, I would say, the check swing in baseball.
Bam.
Very subjective.
Great
Definitely
one.
one that came to mind
Yo,
for me.
yo,
I don't
let
know
me
how
tell ya.
subjective offsides is. I mean, it is or it isn't. And you
Cameron-
can see that on video.
Cameron,
Wait till you hear Cameron's third one.
yeah,
here.
but let's go back to Cameron.
All
But
right.
Danny G and Ramos, we all agree with this
No
before
one
the
can
show.
agree.
Like
It's
a check swing,
it crosses the plate. Oh, he broke his wrist. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real about that.
Yeah, we've seen important games end on a check swing.
And you know what it is? I mean, I get it. You're going the third base umpire, like strike. I mean, you
David Cohn has a real strong stance on that. Danny G, if you could look that up real quick, but something along the lines of like, if the batter committed, he's going to defend pitchers. He's like, it should automatically.
So you're
be a strike.
David Cohn saying if the guy even
Something
swings a
along those
little
lines.
bit.
Yeah, something along the lines of like he committed. Either way, it should be a strike.
All right, Cameron, what's your last one?
My last one has got to be targeting in college football because of the ramifications of what it means to the player. Because if it's in the first half, you lose the second half. If it's in the second half, you lose the entire next game. It's that to me is one of the most subjective calls that's out there because of the ramifications. You talked about pass interference. You talked about roughing the passer, but targeting has a huge implication on a game, especially if it's in a playoff. It's huge.
No doubt, you're 100% right.
Thanks for the call, man. And I don't think anyone's going to say this, but how about just the other night in the NBA Finals, the final game, when Jimmy Butler went up for that 3 and he got the foul and he kicked out, like Aaron Gordon was just standing there really, and they said defensive foul, even when they looked over it and he was doing nothing. They were like, so to me, even though they went over it and still called the foul, I was like, well, that was completely subjective then because I don't see how, but Mike, who runs this place, was saying because he had no space to land.
Who?
Mike runs this place. And I was like, yeah, but Jimmy Butler basically kicked him.
Yeah, you know what? It's much like offensive holding in the NFL. You could probably find something on every play if you look close enough. On every drive to the basket, like, is any contact a foul? Because sometimes something looks clean as can be, and it's like foul. And then sometimes a guy mauls a dude, and it's like no foul. So to me, and another one in the NBA, how, like, to the millisecond of does the guy position himself where it's a charge versus a foul? Like, is he planted enough that it's a charge? I think that's another one.
I reffed a high school game, a summer league game one time, and I just thought, like, oh, this is going to be not easy, but, like, you watch games, this should be. It was extremely hard.
I bet.
I mean, the ball would go up, 3 guys would jump up, and just you're like, and you'd be like, but you didn't see it. You're like, is that a foul? So they were like, people were screaming, it's a foul. Like, oh,
Ramos sucks. Ramos stinks.
Get back out the court.
Frank in Miami, wrap this up, and then we're going to go over some Croc Watch. What's up, Miami?
First of all, I'm mad at you. You took my charge away. I was about to say that.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Yeah, Rich always does that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a
He's the
jerk.
worst.
I'm a jerk.
I know. I was going to say, you idiot, you took my charge away.
Well, next time chime in on social media, but remember, hashtag Rich is the worst.
Yeah.
You guys are just like refs. You took my charge away.
Yeah. Subjective calls. The sticky hands thing is a problem because pitchers don't know what to do. Then what's okay? Because if you don't follow, they say that rosin mixed with sweat causes stickiness anyway. And some umps will be like, well, that's okay. And then another ump will be like, no, that's far too much.
That was Drew Smith said he wiped it. He pushed his hair back, and his hair by his ear was a little moist. And he's like, so I wiped my.
What if you use Suavecito like I do, or Lay Right, and then you just, you run your hands through your hair, and it's like, you can throw it out of the game.
Are baseball pitchers from Jersey held more accountable for all the hair product they have?
Exactly. What are they supposed to do?
Some mousse.
Sorry, I was having a bad hair day. Use extra Suavecito.
I'm trying to think if there's any others that we're forgetting before we move on. Subjective.
Balls and strikes. I mean, obviously. That's an obvious one, but it's still one that could be corrected. That could be fixed.
I don't know if I want robot umpires, though.
It's subjective, though.
NFL does a million, right? Like, So sometimes there'll be a face mask, and like they didn't get a face mask, but you don't. As of now, you can't reverse that, right?
You know, on punt returns, while I'm watching my favorite team, the Raiders, on Sunday, the block in the back. That's subjective because I've seen them throw the flag on that, and then they'll show the replay, and I'm like, that wasn't really.
And
a
Danny,
block
usually a block in the back results in a huge play being called back.
Yeah.
Because you got to think of why there would be a block in the back, right? So usually it's like 60 yards, called back, block in the back. So hey, there you have it.